When we talk about the Persian Gulf, most people immediately think of the countries washed by its waters: Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman. But from a military operational standpoint, the United States' presence in the region is far broader and more interconnected. It is not limited to the Gulf. It forms a true strategic network that spans Iraq, Jordan, the Red Sea, the Eastern Mediterranean, and even Israel. This network allows the U.S. to project air, naval, and intelligence power across a radius that covers the entire Middle East, parts of Central Asia, the Horn of Africa, and the Indian Ocean. In January 2026, the United States maintains between 40,000 and 50,000 troops in the region, distributed across at least 19 major installations, 8 of which are considered permanent or semi-permanent bases. This presence is not new. It dates back to the 1990s, after the 1991 Gulf War, and was reinforced following September 11th and during the campaign against the Islamic State. But in recent months, amid escalating tensions between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, the Pentagon has accelerated the deployment of assets: additional fighter jets, missile defense batteries, warships, and even an aircraft carrier strike group. It is the largest buildup of American forces in the region since the preparations for the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East, hosting around 10,000 American troops. Al Udeid is home to CENTCOM's Combined Air Operations Center, the U.S. Central Command, responsible for planning, coordinating, and executing all air operations across an area stretching from Egypt to Kazakhstan. From there depart aerial refueling missions, surveillance operations with Global Hawk drones and E-3 AWACS aircraft, and the coordination of fighter sorties. Recently, in January 2026, satellites detected a significant increase in activity at the base, with more C-17 and C-5 cargo aircraft arriving to reinforce ammunition and fuel stocks. In Bahrain is located the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Manama. The 5th Fleet is responsible for the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, the Arabian Sea, and parts of the Indian Ocean, a critical area for global oil flows. The base hosts surface ships, submarines, and special operations teams. It is essential for mine countermeasures, maritime counterterrorism, and the protection of commercial shipping routes. In 2026, destroyers and cruisers of the 5th Fleet operate as the first line of missile defense, equipped with Aegis systems capable of intercepting ballistic threats. In Kuwait, the United States maintains 3 major installations: Camp Arifjan, headquarters of U.S. Army Central; Camp Buehring, focused on training and logistics; and Ali al-Salem Air Base. Kuwait serves as the main land-based logistics hub. Massive depots of equipment, armored vehicles, and supplies allow sustained operations without relying exclusively on maritime transport. In Saudi Arabia, Prince Sultan Air Base has regained strategic importance after years of reduced use. Located near Riyadh, it hosts Patriot and THAAD batteries, systems crucial for defense against Iranian ballistic missiles. In 2026, F-15 and F-35 fighters operate from there alongside early warning aircraft. In the United Arab Emirates, Al Dhafra Air Base, south of Abu Dhabi, is an intelligence and reconnaissance hub. The U.S. Air Expeditionary Wing operates MQ-9 Reaper drones, electronic warfare aircraft, and fighters. Al Dhafra is vital for persistent surveillance missions over Iran, the Gulf, and Yemen. In Jordan, Muwafaq al-Salti Air Base in Azraq hosts additional F-15E and F-16 squadrons recently deployed. From there, the U.S. conducts reconnaissance flights and close air support missions, especially useful for operations against targets in Syria and Iraq. In Iraq, the situation has changed. The Iraqi government announced the complete withdrawal of U.S. forces from federal territory by September 2026, but a few hundred remain in the Kurdistan region to advise against ISIS remnants and coordinate intelligence. There is no longer a permanent presence as before, but agreements allow for limited joint operations. Beyond fixed bases, American power is projected primarily through aircraft carrier strike groups. In January 2026, the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group arrived in the northern Arabian Sea, accompanied by destroyers, cruisers, and at least one Virginia or Ohio-class nuclear submarine capable of launching Tomahawk missiles. A group like this can generate up to 150 daily sorties by F/A-18 Super Hornet and F-35C fighters, as well as E-2 Hawkeye early warning aircraft, without needing authorization from host countries. It provides layered air defense, precision strike capability, and political presence. An aircraft carrier is a symbol of American commitment. But a single group is not enough for a large-scale campaign. To saturate Iranian defenses, multiple groups would be required, along with constant aerial refueling using KC-135 and KC-46 tankers, and advanced ISR capabilities, drones, satellites, and rivet joint aircraft. If President Trump decides to escalate towards strikes aimed at the fall of the Ayatollah's regime, something he has mentioned in recent interviews, the operation would be far broader than the limited strikes of June 2025. At that time, during the 12-day conflict between Israel and Iran, the U.S. launched an operation with 7 B-2 Spirit bombers flying directly from the United States to deliver GBU-57 bunker buster bombs against Iranian nuclear facilities in Natanz, Fordow, and Iraq. Simultaneously, dozens of Tomahawk missiles were launched from ships and submarines more than 1,000 kilometers away. A campaign to overthrow the regime would require 3 pillars: command and control, logistical resupply, and advanced intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. This is where artificial intelligence comes in. AI algorithms process data from satellites, drones, and sensors in real time to identify targets, predict enemy movements, and optimize flight routes. Systems such as the Pentagon's Maven use AI for image analysis and decision automation, technologies that are revolutionizing modern warfare. The Pentagon knows Iran would respond with saturation, thousands of ballistic missiles and drones, as it did in 2025 when it launched hundreds against Israel, killing dozens and injuring thousands. Systems such as Patriot, THAAD, and Naval Aegis form a layered defense. B-2, B-52, and B-1 bombers, along with long-range missiles, would serve as the offensive sledgehammer. Israel would contribute intelligence. The Mossad has a deep network inside Iran, preemptive strikes and the diversion of Iranian attention. Jordan and Saudi Arabia could provide logistical and intelligence support. Priority targets would not be limited to conventional forces, but would focus on command and control, communication centers, Revolutionary Guard bases, internal repression facilities, and even political leadership, including Ayatollah Khamenei. The objective would be to blind the regime, prevent coordination, and collapse the chain of command. But toppling a regime is one thing, replacing it is another. Post-2003 Iraq is the classic example. A power vacuum generated chaos, the rise of ISIS, and decades of instability. In Iran, the opposition is fragmented. Monarchists, reformists, ethnic separatists, and exiled groups, each seeking a share of power. Trump has shown caution in endorsing Pahlavi, given the repressive history of the Pahlavi dynasty. Without a unified alternative ready, the risk is an Iraq 2.0 or worse. In 2026, Iran is weakened, air defenses damaged in 2025, an economy in crisis, and brutal internal protests. But an existential attack would provoke a desperate response. Thousands of missiles, closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and attacks on U.S. bases and allies. The human, economic, and geopolitical costs would be immense.